Hello everyone, this is a Microsoft Excel beginner's tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be going over the basics of Microsoft Excel. The version used in this tutorial is the Windows version of Microsoft Excel 16, which is the most current version. This means if you're using an older version or the Mac version of Excel, you might or will see differences. The first thing we want to do is open Microsoft Excel by clicking or double-clicking the icon on the desktop. This will open Excel in the startup page. I have already opened Excel, so I will just open it from down here. In the startup page, on the left, we have icons. The Home, New, Open. These icons are for when you are already working on your workbook in Microsoft Excel. Account Feedback Options. These are more to learn more about your version and your accounts in Microsoft Excel. On the right, we have a blank workbook, which we'll be working out of shortly and throughout the tutorial. We also have these. These are tutorials that explain any new features that your version of Excel has. This is a template that I used previously. Once you use a template previously, it will pop up in your startup page just in case you would like to use it again. And finally, down here we have the recent documents. Any recent documents you have opened will appear in your recent documents section. If your startup page looks different due to using a different version of Excel, it's recommended to explore your version in order to get comfortable with it. For now, we will move on and actually work in an Excel workbook. Beforehand, I will explain to you what a workbook is and what worksheets are. Workbooks are the main files you will be working within Excel. Within the workbook will be worksheets. Worksheets are spreadsheets that will contain the data we create in the workbook. A workbook can contain many worksheets. We will now click on Blank Workbook to open our workbook. We are now inside of a workbook. As you see, it defaults to Workbook 1 for the title, or Book 1 for the title. Sheet 1 is the worksheet. We can create multiple worksheets by clicking the plus button. The more we click, the more worksheets there will be. But they will all be inside of Book 1, which is the workbook. Let's talk about some of the common components when you open a new Excel workbook. First, we have the title bar. The title bar shows the name of the current file and the application in which you are working in. As you can see, the title of our file is Book 1 and the application is Excel. To the left of the title bar, we have the Quick Access toolbar. The Quick Access toolbar provides quick access to common commands such as autosave, saving a file, undoing, and redoing an action. You can customize this toolbar by pressing the drop-down arrow and selecting the action or command you want. Below the Quick Access tool and title bar, we have the ribbon. The ribbon is known as the command center of all Office applications. This means Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint all have a ribbon. The ribbon is composed of tabs. Each tab has access to its own sets of groups. Each group helps organize similar tasks together. And finally, within each group are commands which performs each task. Let's sum up what we just learned. This is the ribbon, the long bar under the title bar. In the ribbon, we have tabs, groups, and commands. Currently, I'm on the Home tab. My groups are clipboard, font, alignment, number, styles, cells, editing, ideas, and sensitivity. Let's type hello in cell A1, and let's type the number 100 in cell A2. And click back on cell A1 once we are finished. Using the font group in the Home tab, I can change the style font of my word. I can change the size of my word. I can change the color of my word. I can bold in my word, italicize my word, and even underline my word. Also from the font group, I can change the border of my cell. I can even change the color of my cell. Let's click on cell A2. Still on the Home tab, I can use the group number or the numbers group to edit how we want this number to appear. We can have the number appear as currency, as a percentage, which will need to be changed because of all the zeros in the currency. We can change it to comma style, which is basically numbers just with decimals. We can increase the decimals. We can decrease the decimals. And just as a note, as we increase or decrease decimals, the program also does any necessary rounding. For example, if I have 100.566, as you see, it automatically rounded to 0.57 because I only rounded to 2 decimal points. However, if I increase, it will go back to its original number as 0.566. Before we continue, let's identify the rest of the elements inside an Excel window. This is a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet is located inside of a worksheet. A spreadsheet contains columns and rows. The column and rows are used to organize data. Each intersection of a column and a row is called a cell. For example, the intersection of column A in row 1 is cell A1. The intersection of column D in row 5 is cell D5. We can also know which cell we're working in by looking at the name box. The name box is located under the ribbon to the left. The name box displays the address of the active cell. Currently, the active cell is cell D5. Now the active cell is currently cell A1. To the right of the name box and under the ribbon is the formula bar. In the formula bar, we enter content for an active cell. We can enter words, numbers, or functions. While working in the formula bar, we can cancel what we entered by clicking the red X, which is cancel, or we can accept it by pressing enter or clicking the green check mark. Clicking FX starts the insert function command. A function is a predefined formula that performs calculations using specific values in particular orders. We will learn more in depth about functions and formulas at a later time. Let's talk about entering data in an active cell. We'll start with entering text. Text is any combination of letters, numbers, or symbols not used in a formula or calculation. If you want numbers stored as text, type an apostrophe before the number. When text is entered in a cell, that column activates the autocomplete feature. The autocomplete feature automatically displays any text that matches the letters you typed previously. Sometimes data entered can exceed the width and height of a cell. As you can see, the length of my sentence is much longer than the width of my column. To fix this, there are two ways. The first way, we right-click the header of the active cell. Then we choose column width. From here, you input a width you find appropriate. Also, Excel can automatically adjust the width of a column. This comes in handy when you're not sure of the width that you need for your column. To do this, simply double-click the line of the column you would like to adjust. The same process can be used to change and adjust row height. We will use this feature later as we add data and enter data. Next, let's talk about the Autofill feature. The Autofill feature helps us complete a sequence of words or values in adjacent cells, meaning it can autofill in rows and columns. Let's type January in cell A1. After typing, let's press Ctrl Enter to keep cell A1 the active cell. Hover over the small green box on the bottom right of the active cell until the pointer turns into a small black plus sign. Click, hold, and drag the pointer down to row 12. Let's adjust our column height by double-clicking the line after the column header. As you can see, months February through December were automatically filled in rows 2 through 12. Next, let's autofill numbers. There are two ways to autofill using numbers. Let's use the way that's similar to autofilling with text first. Step 1. Type the number 1 in cell B1 and press Ctrl Enter. Step 2. Hover over the small green box on the bottom right of the active cell until the pointer turns into a small black plus sign. Step 3. Click, hold, and drag the pointer down to row 12 and release. Notice how rows B2 through B12 are all 1. To fix this, click on the Autofill Options box and select Fill Series. Now we have a sequence of consecutive numbers. The second way of autofilling a sequence of numbers is as follows. Step 1. Type the number 1 in cell C1 and press enter. Step 2. Type the number 2 in cell C2 and press enter. Step 3. Select cells C1 and C2 by clicking and holding cell C1 and dragging the mouse to cell C2. Step 4. Hover over the small green box on the bottom right of the active cells until the pointer turns into a small black plus sign. Step 5. Click, hold, and drag pointer down to row 12 and release. Rows C3 through C12 automatically creates a sequence of consecutive numbers based on rows C1 and C2. Enter dates and times, starting with dates. Let's type 5/1/2020 into cell D1. Then autofill to cell D5 and autofill options to copy cells. We will now change cells D2 through D5 to different formats of the same day. First, select cell D2. In the Home tab, in the Numbers group, click the drop-down and select Long Date. Auto-adjust the column if necessary. To format the dates of cell D3, click on cell D3. In the Numbers group, click the drop-down and choose More Number Formats. In the Numbers tab, ensure the category is Date. Choose a type of format and click OK. Repeat the previous process for cells D4 and D5. We now have the same date in 5 different formats. enter a time and change it to different formats. Unlike previously, where we entered data first, then format it to the desired format, with time, it's best to format the cells first, then enter the data. To do so, step 1, select cells E1 through E4. Step 2, in the numbers group, click the drop-down and select time. Step 3, select cell E1, type 1:30 p.m. and click Ctrl Enter. Auto adjust column E if necessary. Step 4, hover over the small green box on the bottom right of the active cell until the pointer turns into a small black plus sign. Click, hold, and drag pointer from cell E1 to cell E4, then release. Step 5, autofill option to copy cells. Step 6, to change the time of cell E2, select cell E2. In the numbers group, click the drop-down arrow and select More Number Formats. In the Number tab, ensure the category is Time. Choose a type and click OK. Step 7. Repeat step 6 for cells E3 and E4. We now have 4 different formats for the same time.